They play the winner of SMU and Penn State in the CFP. So when you guys look at that matchup, SMU, Penn State, who do you think is a better matchup for Boise State?
SMU. SMU. Oh yeah, by far. Yeah. Because they will not have the same degree of talent across the board. They will not be as mean at the point of contact, and they will also not have Abdul Carter.
True.
Yeah. If I can play the team that doesn't have him,
that's true.
I will select that team because
doubt.
in the run game, you've seen Ashton Jeanty would have as steep a challenge as he's had all year long with that Penn State defense. Now, I will say this too. Jeanty's been seeing 9 to 10 guys in that box. He's been seeing nothing but traffic. But that is the team. I would select SMU because SMU, again, they're a house money team. They're lucky to be here, and that's really cool. Yep. And they might surprise some people. But overall, if I'm looking at what I've got on paper, yeah, they're the pick.
Yeah, and it just matches the style in which they play. I mean, for Penn State, right, the physicality, their ability and depth on the defensive line would totally be an issue.
Yeah.
Right? And just their overall, skill set and how their team is built, I think is within that front seven on both sides of the football. So I think that would really be the toughest matchup for them. And the other aspect, too, is just Drew Allen and the way that he's been playing, too, with Andy as the offensive coordinator this year has been phenomenal. And the growth at the position that he has had, other than maybe Cade Klubnik and a few others, he is one of the most improved college football players in one season, and that's because of coaching. So that really is the difference for Penn State in this team this year.
I want to talk about Ashton Jeanty a little bit because I feel like when we've talked about Boise State this season, that's why it has been Ashton Jeanty. He had 192 yards, 3 touchdowns in Boise State's lone game versus another team in this playoff, that was Oregon. How far can the Broncos ride Jeanty specifically, Spencer?
Well, they've gotten this far.
True.
That's right.
Right? So why not any further? Jeanty has showed no signs of slowing down. He had a little bit of an ebb around game 8 or 9, and then from that point forward has just resumed normal production. So when I say that his production slowed down, I mean he went from averaging 14 yards a carry to averaging, 6 or 7. He's still a first down every 2 downs if you're running him. And he's been super impressive. I think the thing that Boise needs offensively, they need to take advantage of all those open receivers off play action. That's something that they still, I think, haven't maxed out on.
And it's hard to do that because it's working when they give the ball to Ashton Jeanty. So it's why go away from what's been working? If it's not broke, don't fix it. So in this case, Maddox Madison, we saw him make a few big throws against UNLV in tight coverage, man-to-man looks. That's essentially what they're going to have to do, though, in some of these bigger games against tougher matchups is contested throws, make those big catches. They showed up big time against UNLV. But that's what's concerning, though, too, for Boise State. UNLV did a really good job of controlling the line of scrimmage at times and getting penetration behind the line of scrimmage, slowing down Ashton Jeanty's first initial push into that line of scrimmage. So that's a concern, I think, for them in the long run is can they continuously get that push? Because Ashton's awesome after contact.
Yeah.
Incredible.
He's fantastic, but if he can't get ahead of steam, it's going to be very difficult for him to get going.
Okay, so assuming that they win that first game against SMU or Penn State, who do you think is going to give Boise State the biggest challenge after that?
Really the field. Right, because I think just for Boise State.
Did you have them coming out of that first? I don't remember what you guys did.
So
in that round.
so they'll get the bye. Right. So we're looking at that. Let's assume they get past either SMU or Penn State. We pull off a Cinderella victory, which at one point, by the way, would be the greatest victory in the history of Boise State football to this point. And they've got some big ones. At that point, they're either going to face who? Indiana, Notre Dame, or Georgia. Nobody wants to face Georgia.
Heck no.
Especially not in this kind of a setting. I would not want to try to run up the middle on them. I wouldn't want to try to run up the side on them. Notre Dame, by the way, also capable of swallowing the run game at times. So I think Indiana's probably the one that they want out of here. That's not who they're going to get.
And let's remember, too, Notre Dame, maybe not the most talented defensive front that they could see, but Al Golden is a phenomenal defensive mind. Right. And for a one-off football game, I would trust him with my defense and making the right calls at the right time to stop, a team that is one-dimensional at times.